Welcome to my space. We're going to take 3 deep breaths together before we start our little conversation. And the first breath, as always, will be to gather yourself back from the people that you've been interacting with today. On the exhale, dropping down into a safer space inside of your body, might be your heart center or your low belly or your womb. On the second deep breath, you're going to gather your energy back from your projects and your work. On the exhale, dropping down into your chair, down into your low belly. On the third breath, gather your energy back from the future. Any forward thinking, let yourself be here as much as possible. So here we go. Deep breath in. On the exhale, feel free to sigh or move. Ooh. Second breath, gathering your energy back from your projects, your work. Ooh. Third breath in, gathering your energy back from the future. Oh, dropping into your safe embodied space. I am here. Welcome. Allow yourself to stay a little bit slow. Feel free to move, stretch, wiggle, let yourself rock or sway. It really drops us into the body. Building relationship to sound, to breath, and to movement are actually natural to every child that's born. And we're trained out of a fluidity and a natural ease with our breath, a natural ease with our sound, a natural ease with our movement. And you can think of 1,000 ways as a kid that we, depending on which culture you're in, it's different, or which religion or which family of origin, certain things are allowed, certain things are not allowed. But once you get into school, if you were not homeschooled or were in some sort of public school setting, you're trained to be still, you're trained to be quiet, you're trained to be so many of us were trained at that moment to hold our breath or to breathe really rapidly, not take deep, full breaths and be in our body. So when I say build relationship to breath, sound, and movement, I'm actually just inviting you to remember what it's like to be a kid, what it's like to be in the freedom of movement, to be in the freedom of deep breaths, to be in the freedom of making sounds. And whether that's taking a big, giant inhale and sighing on an exhale, if you're in public, that'll draw attention, right? Or if you're making sound while you're eating a delicious meal, that'll draw attention, depending on your culture. If you are moving a lot, maybe you're in a meeting and you just feel like you need to move a little bit and let life force move through you, it'll draw attention. So you get to teach people how to be around you when you're being a little bit more free or practicing. Now, as always, I recommend doing this at the speed of safety. So if you have not had a good relationship to a lot of movement or expression in movement through your body, it will feel awkward. Maybe you are a dancer, but you only feel okay to move on the dance floor or as a ballerina. It's a very trained way of moving. Or maybe you've practiced yoga or qigong or tai chi or some martial art and you're good moving there. But what about every other moment of your life when you're not on the dance floor and when you're not in training or not on your yoga mat? Can you bring more life force into your movement, into your body? Many of us also have bought a million gadgets to help us move. How many of you have a trampoline at home? How many of you have I don't even know what they're called. I can see it. Things that help you move, things that help you exercise, right? Like probably many of you have them stacked up in your garage and never use them. You don't need them as often if you can actually just start building relationship to moving a little bit more. Get on the ground, get on all fours, move. If you know any yoga poses, start with the simple cat cow pose and then just start moving like if you were a kid, stretching, moving, swaying, using your arms. Do it with me right now. Just start moving, moving in your chair, moving your arms. Notice what that feels like. Does it feel good? Does it feel awkward? Let yourself play. So in every container that I hold, whether that's one-on-one or in a group setting, the keywords are always curiosity and playfulness and safety. Can I do this at the speed of safety for my nervous system, for my body, for my mind? Can I play? Can I make this a playful thing rather than a rigid, I have to learn how to move? Or can I bring in this curiosity like, ooh, why can't I move my shoulders? When I started moving more, when I started practicing moving more, I didn't have much movement in my upper shoulders, and I still actually struggle with that a little bit. And I didn't have a lot of movement in my midsection. And lots of women struggle with that. So the movement of an inward, outward movement, like as if a wave were going to hit you from behind and push you forward and then suck you back in with the tide, like you can practice. What does that feel like? Opening and closing. So this is not rocket science. It really is just, can you go back to playing and moving and bringing life force into your body? You will feel better. You will feel more alive. You will feel more connected. You will feel more engaged with everything around you. And yes, it might feel awkward at the beginning when people are like, who is this laughing hysterically or crying out loud or making delicious sounds, whether that's with a good meal or in your sexual expression. Letting yourself breathe and move and sound will bring life to you in ways that you cannot imagine right now. Now, enjoy it, play with it, do it at the speed of safety. And the last piece that I will bring in is, if you have been rigid for a very long time, it's trying to keep you safe. So as you bring in this playfulness, as you bring in this curiosity, if you meet resistance, whether emotional resistance, physical resistance, spiritual resistance, mental resistance, that's okay. Don't push it too far. Just hold it. Notice, oh, I feel that resistance in my body. I feel that resistance in the old story about I can't move that way, or I'm not supposed to sound like that, or I'm not supposed to take those deep, luxurious breaths. It sounds too seductive. Whatever it is, whatever your story is, whatever your resistance is, be super gentle with it, because those resistances, those restrictions actually were trying to keep you safe in either your family of origin or your religion of origin or your relationships, and or maybe just in school or in whichever places that you learned how to be still and silent was your safety. So you're going to just really, again, and I'm going to say this 1,000 times, notice, am I safe right now to make some sound? Am I safe right now to move a little bit more fluidly than I have in the past? Am I safe right now to make some sounds that I don't normally let myself make? And if you are safe enough, practice only to the limit that feels good inside of you, and then nurture, nourish, get a cup of tea, take an easy walk, go snuggle up in bed, take a nice long shower, whatever it is, like relax, and just let that information settle inside of your body. So if you have any questions or thoughts for me, I'd love to hear them. Mostly just see it as play and be super gentle with yourself and be gentle with the pieces that are in resistance. They were there to protect you. And now, if you're watching this video, you're probably safe enough to start exploring a little bit more and do it with all kinds of pleasure. I will be back. I hope you will be too.